From your 24-hour news source, this is News 4 St. Louis Nightside.
Good evening. Julius Hunter is off tonight. I'm Lori Waters. Tonight, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Chief Deputy is under arrest.
This is the latest shockwave to hit that department, raising questions about credibility, suggesting crime inside the Sheriff's Office. Nightside's Jamie Allman live in Hillsborough with details. Jamie?
Well, Larry and Lori, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is tonight in a state of shock after the second most powerful man here was booked into his own jail late today. The office of Chief Deputy Douglas Baker is tonight sealed by evidence tape. Major Baker is charged with 2 counts of felony theft by deceit. Prosecutors say he schemed with this man, service station operator Harold Glacken, to rip off Jefferson County.
Vouchers were being submitted to pay for inspections on Sheriff's Department vehicles that weren't actually done. And
Major Baker was approving payment for those?
Yeah, Major Baker was approving the payments that were being made back to this Harold Glacken.
Prosecutors stumbled upon the alleged fraud while investigating yet another allegation of impropriety in the Sheriff's Department, an allegation that the lieutenant in charge of the evidence locker was stealing evidence. He is now charged with 46 felony counts. Some residents say the credibility of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is severely damaged.
Yeah, it makes you feel insecure.
Sheriff Buck Berger says he's shocked at the charges against his 62-year-old right-hand man, and tonight is trying to fend off eroding faith in his department.
Is Sheriff Buck Berger in control of his department?
Right now, I'd say halfway maybe, but that's not enough. I want to be in control 100%. But I can't do it by myself. You have to depend on the help of other people. I can't do it all by myself.
Now, Major Baker and the other suspect are both free on bail tonight. By the way, the prosecutor tells me the investigation into overall wrongdoing here is still not over. It could be another week before it is over, and there could be more arrests before it is all through. Reporting live from Hillsborough, I'm Jamie Allman. Larry and Lori, back to you.
All right, Jamie.
Authorities in Georgia are searching for a body following today's collision between 2 antique military planes. Officials say at least 1 person was killed. It happened above Lafayette, about 20 miles south of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Both planes have been traveling together out of Calhoun, Georgia. The pilot of an A-26 says he hit the tail of a T-37, causing the T-37 to hit the ground and explode. At least 1 of 2 on board is believed dead. The search continues for the second person. The A-26, a World War II attack plane with 3 or 4 on board, landed safely 45 miles away at Cartersville Airport. A fiery freak accident today in Wheeling, West Virginia. A tractor trailer plunged into a house, killing the driver and seriously burning 2 young girls. Those children were injured when burning gasoline from the truck set their clothing on fire. The juice truck swerved off an elevated section of the interstate and went airborne about 100 feet before landing in the basement of the house, bursting into flames. No word on what caused the truck to swerve.
In Gainesville, Florida, investigators say there is no reason to link today's murders of 2 women with last summer's serial killings. The bodies of 2 young women found in their off-campus apartment. They were living in the same area where the 5 serial murders took place last fall. Despite police assurances that these are not linked, the latest murders are creating new fear in that college town.
It was frightening, really frightening.
Make you nervous?
Yeah, real nervous. Just like I felt in the fall.
Just like that?
Yeah, can't sleep.
4 of the 5 killed last year were mutilated, but police say that did not happen with today's victims. A federal judge in San Francisco is blocking television coverage of an execution at the San Quentin gas chamber. A public television station wants to tape that execution, but the judge agrees that the taping would violate security at the prison.
A string of arson fires in West and North St. Louis have residents in those areas fearful tonight. Nightside Sandra Hughes reports they're afraid of a repeat of last night's 7 blazes.
It all started about 11 o'clock last night. 10 hours later, 7 buildings had been allegedly torched.
There are arson, there's no doubt about that. Why, I don't know if I can answer that question. There doesn't seem to me there any rhyme or reason to it.
Fire investigators say what's most frightening is that 5 of the fires were concentrated in an 11-block area of Goodfellow and Wells. Some investigators speculate the gang graffiti on these burned structures could mean the fires were gang-related. But at this point, they say all they know is that 2 fires were probably set by the same people, since they were across the street from each other. All of the buildings were vacant except one, this 3-family flat on Romaine.
Got 3 smoke detectors in the basement, 3 in the halls, 1 on each floor. The smoke detectors woke everybody up and they were able to get out.
Tonight in the neighborhoods where the fires occurred, there is an increased tension. People I talked to said they're going to take extra precautions, fearing their homes may be next.
I'm kind of scared that they don't put anybody else's house on fire. Somebody could have got hurt.
Some say the arsons are probably the work of bored teenagers.
Like I said, they need more activity in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So if we get more activity in the neighborhood, I think it'd be more better.
Investigators still don't know how all those fires were started. 7 arsons in one night is not a record in St. Louis. It has happened before. So far tonight, no signs of a repeat performance of last night.
Well, we did hear in that report a strong endorsement for smoke detectors, though, didn't we?
Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. About 60 Fenton residents are back home after an emergency evacuation earlier today. The residents were rushed away from 2 mobile home parks after the discovery of a 5-gallon chemical drum in a yard. It's believed the drum contained a type of acid, some of which leaked from the open cylinder. Fire officials hosed it down to keep it cool until the Department of Natural Resources arrived for a look. They're still investigating the contents, but officials don't believe there's any danger.
President Bush is waiting to hear back from the Soviet Union on his new ideas for reducing missile arsenals. Reportedly, both nations are anxious to sign a new treaty whenever a summit can be arranged for President Bush and Soviet President Gorbachev. Washington is making final preparations for tomorrow's victory parade. It will salute the Desert Storm forces. And the commander-in-chief plunged into the spirit of the event, stopping by to inspect some of the military hardware and troops, later mingling with the crowd. Tomorrow, 8,000 Desert Storm veterans will march down Constitution Avenue and then have a gigantic picnic with their families near the White House grounds. Cost of this celebration, $12 million. It's a lot, but I don't think too many folks are upset with it this time.
It's a big party. Well, the nation's unemployment rate hits a new 4-year high, but there's also good news on the job front.
And the St. Louis Zoo has 2 new attractions, but for now you can only see them here on television. Those stories and these coming up.
It's another opening, another show, and they're putting on the final touches here at the Muni in Forest Park. I'm Mary Phelan. Stay tuned to News 4 Nightside, and you'll meet the man who puts all of this together.
In weather after a gorgeous week, we all wonder what lies ahead. Coming up, the last forecast.
This is Zip. Look out for flying objects. A special edition of the Zip Awards is coming up on Nightside.
From your 24-hour news source, Julius Hunter, Larry Connors, the 10 o'clock reporters, the double team, Sandra Hughes and Jonathan Hall, Mary Phelan, and Mike Brown. Weather with meteorologist Mike Nelson, and sports with Zipper Zeppa. You're watching News 4 St. Louis Nightside.
You never know what the night will bring. A look.
He was staring at me through dinner.
A touch.
She reaches over and kind of grabs my leg, and I'm like, whoa.
A kiss.
The next thing we knew, actually, we were in a heavy lip lock.
A feeling.
She gave me tingles right up my spine. I just...
A connection.
At that point, I really knew she was digging me righteously, Chuck.
The night is for love connection.
All this week at 10:30 on Channel 4. Now, for a limited time, your St. Louis Quality Ford dealer is offering special financing on the 91 Ford Escort. Not 12.9, not 8.9, not even 6.9. Now, get financing as low as 4.8% on Ford Escort. That's right, 4.8 financing on Escort GT, LX, and Wagon. Or get up to $750 cash back on the totally redesigned Ford Escort. But hurry, this offer ends July 30th.
On both sides of the river to St. Louis, Ford and you.
At Burlington, you can save on everything for work, everything for workouts, and everything for weekends, too. Everything a man wants to wear is at Burlington for less.
Wouldn't it be nice to get away for the weekend? With the Walmart price, you're halfway there. Just look for specially marked packages from Walmart. And when you buy one weekend night at a participating Holiday Inn, you get the second night free. You'll find all the details right on the package. So start planning your getaway. With Holiday Inn's bonus night offer and the Walmart price, you save not once, but twice. Walmart. Always.
Budweiser Rockin' Country, starring Hank Williams Jr.
My rowdy friends are coming over tonight.
Reba McEntire. Also starring the Judds. July 3rd at Busch Stadium. Budweiser Rockin' Country. Plus the Kentucky Headhunters, Sawyer Brown, Ray Kennedy, fireworks, and more. Tickets at Metrotix are charged by phone. July 3rd. Budweiser Rockin' Country. Produced by Fiesta Entertainment. Nothing beats a Bud.
Pink slips tonight for 78 St. Louis City employees being laid off next Friday. Their recall status unclear. Even the city's personnel director can't say.
The wrinkle now is that with the Ways and Means Committee making substantially more cuts to the budget and not knowing how they're going to come out, we don't know today whether we can place those people that are being laid off or whether there'll be so many more further layoffs that it'll overwhelm any number of available vacancies.
The layoffs are part of across-the-board city budget cuts.
The nation's unemployment rate is worse, hitting 6.9% in May. That is the highest in 4 years. But at the same time, businesses are creating new jobs. 59,000 Americans got on the payrolls last month. And tonight, Money reporter Mike Brown is doing what he can to get jobs for those who want them.
Today's unemployment number is certainly a cause for disappointment, so tonight we're going to try extra hard to help you get your share of the jobs available, and just as importantly, we want to help employers tonight get their share of St. Louis's talented labor pool. Here's a great place for both to start, a nonprofit organization known as Business Persons Between Jobs. In operation since 1972, it's a group of unemployed business, professional, and technical people helping one another find jobs. This is from one of their weekly meetings a few years back, and St. Louis County Executive Buzz Westfall has proclaimed this BBJ Week. If you're between jobs or if you're an employer looking for qualified help, call BBJ at 394-1440 weekdays. The group meets every Monday from 9 a.m. until noon. 2 more positions available in our Jobs for St. Louis Bank tonight. Copy down the job number and call the job service office nearest you if you want more information. They need a project engineer in Afton, pays between $32,000 and $42,500 depending on experience. You will need degrees in mechanical and electrical engineering. The job number is 477-232. And you can earn $4.25 an hour selling new and used cars in Alton. You need just 1 month's experience in sales work to qualify. The job number is 927-449. Are you an employer looking for a way to cut the cost of hiring? Well, why don't you let the government pay part of it for you? If you hire workers eligible for the so-called Targeted Jobs Tax Credit Program, you can save 40% of the first $6,000 in wages for the first year's employment. That's a $2,400 credit. Your company must request certification, but there's not a whole lot of paperwork involved. Just contact your nearest job service office for more information. Next week, some help in cleaning up your credit rating. You have a good weekend. I'm Mike Brown.
All right, regardless of the temperature, it is not really summer in St. Louis until the Muni season opens.
But that wait is almost over. News 4's Mary Phelan made a backstage visit to the Muni today to check out the last-minute preparations and has the scoop in tonight's Phelan File.
Laurie and Larry, it was very chaotic out there today, as you can expect. But it was that exciting kind of chaos, like that last shopping day before Christmas. And the glue holding the whole thing together, a man named Paul Blake.
But then you both go, wunderbar.
Being the executive producer of the Muni is no slack job. For example, with the hours waning before the curtain goes up Monday night, today Paul Blake was directing a scene from Kiss Me Kate, sitting in on a rehearsal of Cole Porter, doing some last-minute casting, checking script changes, looking over new orchestrations. Well, you've got the picture. But here's a guy who thrives on chaos.
If you'd been in the office on Monday, all this week, every room in the offices were packed with people doing the orchestrations, doing the writing of the script, typing out new lyrics. I mean, it was like show business. It was fabulous.
This is Paul's second season at the Muni. Many say he's brought new life to it, but Paul says he simply loves what he's doing.
And even the craziness and the drama is what I love. I think it's wonderful. And when the shows are good and you hear the audience applauding and laughing and appreciating it, that's particularly sweet.
And the 73rd season opens Monday night at 8:15. Well, she goes out of her way to ignore it, but we just couldn't resist telling you First Lady Barbara Bush will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. It's number 66 for Mrs. Bush, who apparently prefers not talking about birthdays. Today, she was content sitting with Millie, watching her husband and son Marvin play horseshoes. According to the insiders at the White House, no big birthday celebration is on tap tomorrow. And what a happy day at the St. Louis Zoo today. 2 new arrivals known as Bert and Ernie checked in. Of course, Bert and Ernie are the baby grizzly bear cubs who escaped death in Alaska when St. Louis Zoo officials came to their rescue. Their mother was killed last year, and the Anchorage Zoo didn't have room for them. They'll be making the St. Louis Zoo their new home, and you will be able to see them there in just a couple of weeks. And don't we all love a happy ending to a story like that?
Gonna go see Bert and Ernie?
Oh, I think so, definitely.
Yeah,
well, I imagine a lot of folks will, yeah.
Oh, little babies. Oh.
St. Louis Zoo.
Little babies.
Well, they're probably not that.
They're not little. I know they're not that yay tall stuff you were talking about the other day.
No, don't. We'll see you on Monday.
All right.
Thanks, Mary. Well, the all-important weekend forecast is coming up.
It's kind of special tonight. You're going to find out why when we come back.
Brought to you by the Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages, where people get what they want.
Hey, just a minute, just a minute. Ready?
The Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages, where people get what they want.
At Simms, you'll never see this word, because Simms represents at off price over 200 world-famous designer and brand names in men's, women's, and children's clothing. You can always buy men's current, nationally advertised $290 suits for $159. Women's $235 suits for $139. There's never a reason for a sale. At Simms, an educated consumer is our best customer.
It's time to play Hardee's How Much. Now, how much would you pay for this tasty bun? Well, what if we add a cheeseburger to this bun? Wait, do you like BLTs? There's bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Well, what if we combine this BLT with the cheeseburger and named it the Hardee's BLT Cheeseburger? Now, how much would you pay?
$100.
79 cents? Ding, 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 ding. That's right, Hardee's new BLT Cheeseburger. Only for a limited time, only 79 cents, and only Hardee's? Yeah. Yes, Hardee's.
What you gonna get for Father's Day to show your father how you really feel?
There's big savings going on at Walmart for Father's Day.
Where you gonna go for Father's Day? Where you really gonna get a deal?
Right now, you can get a Minolta 105i camera for $269.87 or a Zebco 33 Classic Combo for $34.62.
Great savings going on at Walmart.
Actually, this week you could call us Dad Mart.
Come to Walmart, save for Father's Day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, Nikki. Hey, stupid. What's up? Did we have a history test today?
Double trouble.
A D?
Cool.
Excuse you.
What'd she say?
He needs a girlfriend and I'm available. Are you crazy? 5 minutes. Why didn't you study?
That's not good.
Tonight?
Cool, that's cool.
What did he say? 5 minutes, Mom, okay? Oh, it's not my parents, you know.
So I want to be
cool.
get a second phone line for the speaker of your house. To order or for a free brochure, call 1-800-234-BELL. Southwestern Bell Telephone, the one to call on. Mike Nelsons weather forecast has the AMS seal of approval.
Gotta admit, this is kind of hard tonight.
Yeah, but we'll save some of those remarks for later. I don't want to get too choked up at this point. How many did we count? Maybe 5,000 weathercasts?
In the last 6 years, since April of 1985, it's
every one of them
about 5,000 weathercasts. That's right. And people ask me a lot in the broadcast business, say, you ever sneeze on TV or ever feel like you're going to cough or something? I've never done that. This is probably one of the few times I feel like I might just not be able to do it without shedding a tear, though. This will be the last weather forecast I'll do here at Channel 4, and it has been a thrill and a privilege to present the weather to all of you wonderful people in the St. Louis area, and I'm going to miss you all, but starting the 1st of July, I will go on the air at KUSA Channel 9 in Denver, Colorado as chief meteorologist. I'll do a little bit of behind-the-scenes work ahead of time to learn all the ways the weather out there. It has been great working with all of you, and let's start out by looking at some of the things that I feel especially proud to have introduced to the St. Louis market. First of all, Doppler radar revolutionized the weather in St. Louis. and many followed after us, and it continues to be an excellent tool and continues tonight to show no precipitation. Then, my next favorite, lightning locator. No lightning strikes out there, but again, something that we brought to the St. Louis market, and I'm very proud of that. And one other thing, the time-lapse camera. And let's take a look at my final sundown in St. Louis. It was a gorgeous one. And look at those high, thin cirrus clouds wisping in on northwesterly winds in the upper atmosphere. A beautiful sight in our western skies tonight. And our high temperature for today in the St. Louis area reached 85. 61 was the low. No precipitation. Record high 96 back in 1933. 48 the record low, and that was in 1944. Right now in St. Louis, we're 75 degrees, a very comfortable evening, 43% humidity. The barometer is currently rising at 30.15, and the winds are east at 9 miles per hour. Well, we can't finish up a last weathercast without a look at the upper air pattern for the weekend. Jet stream staying to the north of us, and that's going to mean warm air and fairly quiet conditions in the St. Louis area. A high pressure cell that's holding down across the Texas-Louisiana area is going to continue to keep things pretty peaceful around here for the next couple of days. But we will gradually start to warm up. Tomorrow, seeing those temperatures climb back to the mid to upper 80s. The cooler 70s holding across the Great Lakes, off into the northeast. A few 60s out in the Pacific Northwest. The 100s staying well to the southwest of us across the desert southwest regions of the country. To all my weather watchers, thanks a million. It's so long, but not goodbye. It has been so great working with all of you dedicated volunteers out there to help report the weather conditions around some of the smaller towns surrounding St. Louis. You've done a great job. It's been my pleasure to work with all of you. The temperature's very delightful this evening. Mascoutah reporting 72 according to the Kraske family, 71 degrees at Vandalia, 67. Pat Patterson reporting in Pacific. Claude and Ruth Wilson, my friends over in Union, 70 degrees there. Currently 64 degrees. Heather Keith reports at Barnhart, 65. Bob Hauswright has at Steelville, and Bill Zumwalt out there, New Florence, 68 degrees. Up in Carlinville, Jack Campbell, 67 degrees. Thanks to all of you. It's really been a lot of fun to work with everyone, and also can't forget Chris Dean. You thought I'd forget Chris up in Ferguson with 69 degrees. Here's our last satellite loop. Clear skies throughout the day in the St. Louis area, but some thunderstorms developing out to the west of us, and they were somewhat heavy today. Not as bad as they've been in recent days, but some scattered reports of heavy rain, a little bit of hail across southern sections of Kansas into Oklahoma, also back up into the western Dakotas. For tomorrow around here, this high pressure system still going to be close enough to bring us a nice day. A little bit warmer, a little bit more humid. No rain tomorrow, but by Sunday, as that high gradually moves off to the south and east, some of the heat and humidity will really begin to move back in. I think we'll get through the weekend without any rain, but by Monday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, and they will continue off and on into Tuesday. So here we go for the 4 days, folks. Mostly sunny, 86 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow. Warm and humid up to 88 on Sunday. Monday, a few scattered thunderstorms with a high of 90, and scattered thunderstorms again on Tuesday, high temperature at 87 degrees. Forecast details for tonight in St. Louis, mostly clear, mild, overnight low 65, east winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm with a high temperature at 86, southeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thanks to all of you viewers. And I just have to say thanks to everybody on the staff here at Channel 4, especially to my colleague Mike Roberts. He'll be doing some of the weather work when I'm gone, and our newcomer Trish Brown will be in to help out as well. And Lori, it's been terrific.
Mike.
Thank you. Larry, it's been a pleasure working with you. Zip's over in the corner, but he's got a surprise for me. I'll reserve judgment here until later on in the show.
I think I'd hold your remarks about Zip, and we'd like to add a few more remarks.
We're not through with you yet.
Okay. Well,
Don't
folks,
go away. Don't go away.
I won't. I'll stay right here.
All right.
Thanks.
Friday night, and it does mean the Zippos are next.
And as you might have guessed, it's something very special tonight, starring someone we think is always the best, never the worst, but sometimes the worst.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, a lot of baseball, all the sports. Zippos, Zip, coming up.
Data struggles to finally achieve the passions of human emotion on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Saturday night at 10:30 on Channel 4.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies.
Milk for bright baby smiles. Milk for soft baby skin. Milk for strong baby bones.
And baby milk's for you.
We just took Eddie to Rent-A-Center's home entertainment values and got him 100 Ed got this 19-inch color TV at Rent-A-Center for just $10.99 a week. We didn't need credit or a deposit, so he sprang for a VCR, too. What a wild man. Me? I rented this camcorder to tape my precious family.
At Rent-A-Center.
When your air conditioner dies, this is your most important tool. Use it to call the UE Cooling Hotline for a UE-approved 5-star cooling dealer near you. Of course, using it requires a little mechanical ability. Just ask UE. How will you know when it's time to replace your central air conditioner? Find out with this cooling system replacement guide. It's free at your local 5-star dealer. Or call your local UE office and just ask UE.
Here's the difference in black and white. The Walmart price. It's different.
Because Walmart is different.
Instead of relying on sales events, we watch expenses so we can give you the low price.
On every item. On every shelf.
In every aisle.
Always.
It's a promise we make each day. A promise we've kept for 29 years. The Walmart price. It's the difference between other stores and Walmart. The difference between sometimes and always.
Hey, did you know this summer Phillips 66 and Pepsi have teamed up to bring you some really great summer accessories? Now, all you have to do is just fill up with Phillips 66 Super Clean Gasolines and Pepsi multi-packs. Because the more you do, the more you get. So stop into a Phillips 66 for details soon. Because an event like this is sure to draw a crowd.
All right, we're ready for sports, and of course the Zippos.
Yes, special edition tonight in honor of Mike Nelson. We'll get to that in a moment. First, talk a little baseball. The game just over at Busch Stadium. Cards lose another one. There's 3 straight losses. Giants beat them by the score of 5-2. Omar Olivares pitched well but takes the loss. Let's go to Busch Stadium for the highlights. 3rd inning, Giants got on the board. This is Omar Olivares pitching to Jose Uribe. Came into the game hitting 127. Look what he did. Drilled it to the gap. Matt Williams scored. Uribe sped around the bases, and he later scored same inning, so the Giants with a 2-0 lead top of the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd, here come those Cardinals. Milt Thompson hit a little blooper. Run, Milt. Run, Milt. It's going to stay fair. It fell inside the line. Milt Thompson wound up at second base with a double. He would then score the first run of the Cards for the Cards as Ozzie Smith stepped in. The Wizard continuing his outstanding offensive work with a base hit to right field. Thompson scored later. Ozzie scored. It was 2-2. Now the Giants leading 3-2 with the game till 2-2. Base hit left field drove in the 3rd run to make it 3-2 Giants. And then Chris Carpenter in the 8th gave up this 2-run homer to Matt Williams to make it 5-2. And that's the way that ended. Another loss at home for the Cardinals. Ouch. All right, the Pittsburgh Pirates won tonight by the score of 1-0. For the highlights of that one, let's go to Three Rivers Stadium. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Doug Drabeck on the mound. 7 shutout innings, allowed 10 hits, but got the strikeouts when he needed them. Plenty of excitement in this game. Benito Santiago fanning there. Watch what happened with the Pirates at bat. Little ground line shot up the middle. Scored the only run in the game as Bobby Bonds came around, slot with the RBI. 1-0 Pittsburgh. That was the only run they needed, but they didn't make it easily. Little pop fly to center field. Andy Van Slyke, Gold Glove center fielder coming in. Barry Bonds coming from left. They collide. Andy couldn't hold on. But they got out of that inning. Now in the late inning, Stan Belinda in relief. And watch this. Tim Tuffle, the batter, acquired for the Mets, drives it to left center field. Looks like it could be off the wall, but Andy Van Slyke, a spectacular grab. Off the wall to end their last threat. Pirates hold on to win 1-0 on the scoreboard. Cubs lost to the Dodgers 3-2. You see that Pittsburgh score we just showed you. Elsewhere, Cincinnati loses at home to Philadelphia, and Montreal clobbers Atlanta. American League, the Yanks won by a run. Baltimore beat Toronto by a couple. Shutout by Minnesota over Cleveland. The White Sox shut out Kansas City, same score. Detroit leads California in the 3rd. Boston out in front of Oakland. And the only other action, we've got a tie right now in Seattle. On NBA playoffs continuing as we speak. Game 3 out in Los Angeles. The Bulls now lead the Lakers 88-85 with 2 minutes to go. The Lakers held a 13-point lead in the 3rd quarter, but the Bulls have come back to take the lead by 3 with 2 minutes left. French Open. Jim Courier against Andre Agassi. Would you believe it? An All-American final. That's what we're going to have in the French Open. Agassi taking out Becker today. Let's go to Roland Garros Stadium. Take a look at this action. There's Andre Agassi showing up in purple, as he's done throughout this tournament, going against Becker. They exchange ground strokes on the red clay of Roland Garros. Ball is in. Becker plays it. Agassi comes to the net with a winner right there, and Agassi advancing to the men's finals in the French. Well, all right, this is Friday night, and it's also Mike Nelsons' last night here at Channel 4. Mike, as you know, heading for the mountains, going to Denver to do the weather for a station out there. So tonight, in Mike's honor, we present the best, the worst, and the weirdest occurrences in sports, and the best, the worst, and most memorable moments of Mike Nelsons' career. We entitled tonight's presentation, The Half Zippos. And watch at the top of the statue, the Half Nelsons. Okay, we'll do the sports angle first, sports fans. Here we go. Toronto against California. Weirdest double play. Ground ball to second base. Down goes Kelly Gruber evading the tag. They get the out at first. Now they get Gruber in a rundown. He decides to give up. Now they're going to get the guy going home. All of a sudden he says, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, he's going to second. Throw it here. They got him out of there. Best shot in golf. Ben Crenshaw, 16th hole. Out of a trap. Using an iron. Blasts it toward the green. Onto the green. Toward the hole. And in. Eagle for Ben. Weirdest pitch, Randy Johnson. Look where he throws it. Right between the batter's legs. Randy, nice aim. Come on, buddy. Get it over the plate. Weirdest play in baseball. Remember this last Saturday night? Milt Thompson breaks the bat. It goes toward Magadan, who dodges the bat, misses the ball. Gerald Perry and Milt Thompson laughing all the way to the clubhouse as the Cards won. Best shot in basketball, Michael Jordan. Here he comes. Fakes the dunk. Goes to the left hand, spins it off the backboard, and in. All right, so much for sports. Let's go to the full Nelsons and how Mike heard about the job out in Denver. He heard about it from Mike Brown.
And they're looking for a TV weatherman in Denver. You don't need experience, but you must know how to ski. I'm sorry? Oh, forgive me. That job's just been filled.
By you know who. You know, in Mike's early days here, he used to jump over the set to get there in time. Yeah? And that was the time we discovered, watching the replay of this, that Mike, in former attire, white socks.
Yeah.
You got it. But I tell you, he always knew how to do that weather in a manner that was clear and concise to the common man, right? Go ahead, Mike.
Where the creek flows under the road, the fish swim no more.
I mean, it's very, very clear. You know exactly what he meant. One more time, Mike.
Where the creek flows under the road, the fish swim no more. That worked out, too.
Yeah. Mike always with that gentle touch, too, with a pet of the week. I mean, he always had those little critters under control. Perfect control on television, right? I mean, look at this guy. He almost ate his tie. Calm down. All right, Mike going to skiing. Mike, one-time skiing instructor, also competed one time. This is first and last run in international competition. Just under a lot of control.
Ooh, there's a pain that's going to linger.
That's right. But Mike, you know, in Denver, you know you can ski in shorts in the springtime, and you've done it. As a matter of fact, here's one of your first runs in Denver. Little ski jumping. Fine form here, Mike, but the landing. You've got to work on the landing. All right, Mike, you're a great family man. There are your two beautiful children, Anders and Tiana. You're out there playing wiffle ball. You say, all right, Tiana, let's play the wiffle ball. See if you can hit it, honey. See if you can hit it. She hit it. And that's it for the half Nelsons, the full Nelsons, and the Zippos tonight. But it's all in fun. Mike Nelson, a great athlete, a great weathercaster, one of the great weather authorities in the United States. Good luck to Mike. God be with you. That's
well stated. I know Laurie's got some closing remarks, huh?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we'll say more in private, but it's been so nice to work with such a professional. You are so cool under fire and so very good at what you do.
Thanks. I'll miss you all very much, and to the people of St. Louis and around the area, I'll miss all of you as well. I hope that that I've given half as much as you've all given to me and to my family. Thank you all very much.
Julius, of course, is off tonight. I know he wanted me to tell you, as he told you in private already, how much he's going to miss you. We all are. As Laurie pointed out, whenever turbulent weather came up, Mike Nelson was the one we wanted to hear and keep us posted. But above that, a classy guy, a kind, gentle man who makes it a pleasure to work in this building. And God bless you. Be with you and your family on this trip, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And if you head out toward Colorado, it's right out there in Denver. Just give me a call. We'll head up and we'll ski a little bit together. Okay.
We'll be there.
All right. Thank you.
This is your 24-hour news, sports, and weather source.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.
Yo, Hammer, I'm stuck.